The planche is one of the most desired skills in bodyweight training, and in this video I'm going to show you a typical gymnast exercise that will definitely help you to achieve it. This really underrated exercise is not else than the shoulder supported Maltese. Okay, I know, that's in the name, it's for the Maltese, right? But actually it has a huge transfer effect for the planche. So we can say that it's a 2-in-1 since it will help a lot to learn the planche while you're working on the Maltese at the same time. The shoulder supported Maltese is a special strengthening exercise for the Maltese that gymnasts mostly use on the rings and sometimes on the floor. It works the serratus muscles a lot besides the chest, shoulders, biceps, lats and core. It's not a coincidence that gymnasts look brutal while doing the Maltese. The shoulder supported Maltese makes this exercise easier to learn, but since it has many common points with the planche, it has a significant transfer effect. For me personally, it helped a lot to transition from the straddle planche to the full planche. You can be sure that it helps to overcome plateaus with the other progressions as well, such as from the advanced tuck planche to the straddle and so on. But why am I recommending this Maltese exercise to achieve the planche? Mostly because the right execution requires powerful protraction, same as the planche. It improves the serratus anterior a lot, which is crucial for the planche again. This is also a straight arm exercise, however, it doesn't put the elbows under that much load as a planche progression. Of course it's different and you need to get used to it, but it's really useful. And another important point, that after you have the upper body strength, it improves the core strength perfectly for the planche, helps to overcome plateaus as it happened to me as well. Cool! And I know that many of you guys are thinking about this. Where can I do this exercise? I don't have mattresses, springboards, benches or boxes. By the way, these are the best alternatives basically. But the simplest you can do at home is to use chairs, as I always do. Grab 4 chairs, align them for your needs, and that's it. Use 2 chairs for shoulder support and another 2 for arm support. The best if your arms can lay on something completely. This is why gymnasts use springboards and mats. Like this, you can minimize the pressure on your elbows. However, there are some special equipment where there is only a shoulder support and a handle for the grip. And I know, 99% of you guys won't be able to find any special equipment I mentioned. This is why I recommend the chairs. I didn't have any issues with the chairs, nor my students. So before you jump right into this exercise, I'd like to draw your attention to some prerequisites. Even if this exercise provides good gradation, it's really intensive, so it's worth to do the following before you start. You should complete a full body preparation program and prepare your joints, especially the scapulas, shoulders, elbows and core. You should have a basic push-pull strength, do the basic static skills with confidence, such as the L-sit, shoulder stand and elbow lever, plus you should be able to hold a decent tuck planche. If you have these, you can start practicing this exercise. The good news is that I've already made videos about all the most important basics I've mentioned, so you can find those on the channel. Or if you want to build these up following a complete program, click the link below. Now, let's see the main progressions and milestones of this great exercise. What path should you go on? The first step is the arm supported shoulder stand. This is a simple progression where you can get an idea how the arm position feels like in the following progressions. If you do it with chairs at home, just adjust the chairs to be able to support on your shoulders. Be aware that the wider the arm support, the harder the exercise is. Before you take off, make sure that your setup is stable enough. If it's good to go, you can use the same progressions that you've learned from the shoulder stand video. You can do small kick-ups with leg switches, tuck, advanced tuck, and so on until the straight body position. If you're concerned about falling over, do it against the wall. Similar to the headstand and shoulder stand, your body won't be completely vertical, it's going to be a bit tilted, which actually puts more load on the arms, so you can prepare the elbows and shoulders for the later load. If you can hold this position for 15 to 20 seconds, you can move on. The second progression is the tuck shoulder supported Maltese. Here, your upper body should be in a similar position to the full shoulder supported Maltese while you are tucking your legs. This is the shortest leverage possible you can do, but still, you will feel your serratus anterior, shoulders and arms already. Maintain powerful protraction, depress and abduct your scapulas, keep your elbows locked and tuck your legs as much as you can. This is how you can shorten the leverage maximally and engage your core at the same time. As I mentioned, the tuck planche is a prerequisite, so ideally you'll be able to hold this position for a few seconds at least. What's going to be new and unusual here is the arm position. But like I said, if you get used to this position, This exercise will help you to overcome plateaus in the planche for sure. You can build up the tuck shoulder supported Maltese with negatives so you can get used to the new load. In this case, do 3 to 5 slow negatives in tuck with 2 to 3 sets and try to hold the lower end point. The goal is to hold 15 to 20 seconds hold of the static tuck position. If you got that, you can move on. The third step is the advanced tuck shoulder supported Maltese. Yes, you're right. From here, we basically start to unfold the body, lengthen the leverage, same as in any body levers. Here, you also need to pay attention to the powerful protraction, depress and abduct your scapulas, keep your elbows locked and your core tight with posterior pelvic tilt. Many people push out their butt in the advanced tuck. This is a common mistake. Make sure to maintain posterior pelvic tilt. Same as in the previous progression, you can use negatives to get into the position if you have difficulties. The goal is to hold this position for 10 to 15 seconds. The fourth progression is the straddle shoulder supported Maltese. If your straddle is not wide enough, you might feel the next progression easier. The key points in terms of the upper body are the same as in the previous progressions. An important role to highlight here that if you strive for a wide straddle, your pelvis tilt will change. You will get into anterior pelvic tilt, which is normal anatomically in the wide straddle. The straddle execution is elegant in the planche as well, but if you only practice this progression, you will only be strong in this position. It's not worth to neglect the posterior pelvic tilt execution, so I recommend to practice the next one as well. I personally had a problem with this, but the following progressions have helped me to solve it. Here, you can also use negatives if you can't do the static hold in the beginning. The goal is the 5 to 8 seconds hold. The fifth progression is the half extended leg shoulder supported Maltese. As I mentioned, if your straddle is narrow, this progression will probably be easier for you than the straddle. It can also be easier because if you retuck one of your legs, it's definitely easier than the straddle. I really like this progression because the bent leg basically provides a posterior pelvic tilt in itself, but at the same time, you can feel how to extend your leg while maintaining the posterior pelvic tilt. And you can do that both sides. Pay attention to the protraction, depressed and abducted scapulas, locked elbows and posterior pelvic tilt. You can even do leg switches or longer hold one by one. The 5 to 8 second hold is also a great goal here. The sixth progression is the half lay shoulder supported Maltese. This is a really underrated execution where you can get used to the proper pelvis tilt and body position with a shorter leverage. At the same time, this progression is optional since with the previous progression you can get the full execution by placing your foot closer and closer to the other. In this one, we can say that you need to hold the weight of your legs, but the leverage still won't be the longest, so it's a bit easier. Pay attention to the key points, and if you feel that's easier, do negatives. The 5 to 8 seconds hold is a great goal. The final progression is the full shoulder supported Maltese. If you went through the previous steps, I'm sure you're ready for this, even if you start doing only negatives. You can get into the full position from tuck by raising your legs or from the shoulder stand. Pay attention to the powerful protraction, depressed and abducted scapulas, hollow body position with engaged core and glutes, and the closed, tight legs with pointed feet. The 5 to 10 seconds hold is a great goal and will help you a lot in the full planche hold. I could overcome my plateau in the planche thanks to this exercise, and I'm sure it will help you as well, no matter what progression we are talking about. Don't forget, these are only the main milestones, but you can do other variations and play with the leverage in different ways. Besides the negatives, once you own a certain progression, you can do raises that will also increase your strength drastically. So this will be a typical gymnast planche / Maltese progression I'm sure you barely or never do, or you just didn't know how to do it without the special equipments. Give it a try, I can only recommend it, just be careful and gradual. If you want to build up a shredded physique like gymnasts have from zero, following my thorough system, just click the link below, sign up today and get access to all of my programs, tutorials, series and much more. I can also help you personally in the private community in the live Q&As. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did so, please like, share and write a comment what do you want to see in the next videos. If you don't want to miss the new videos, subscribe with notifications on and see you next week in the next video.